Hey everybody, I found yet another interesting, let's turn this down here, reaching over. Okay, so yeah, I found this laptop, and yeah, I think it's pretty nice. It's from, I would say, 2006, 7, in that range. And it is a, let's find the name, Compaq nc6400. And I'm going to show you the top of it. That's kind of the look of it. So this is a time period when they used to do this kind of a gray, and that was their symbol there that they emblazoned on everything. And this is a time when business class laptops of a better quality were being made. So if you actually look at the detail put into this and the type of the weight of it, the plastics and things like that, these things were really built. So it's got, the express card here and your sound and USB and venting. And let's go to the back. Let's take a look at the back. So we got the battery, and we got a VGA. Yeah, it's got one of those composite sort of video things for TVs. Power, battery, Kensington lock. So that's the back of it. Let's get it over here. Okay, hang on a second. Kind of heavy, I'm telling you. Like these other laptops I've been getting lately, they're rather light. Nothing to them. Very cheap. Okay, so we got interketer lights. A couple of nice front-facing speakers. We got card reader. We have a, what this is. I know it has Bluetooth. Maybe that's a Bluetooth indicator. I don't know. Of course, it's got a little switch to lock the top shut, and it's got a little slot here. It's like a security card slot. You can put a security card in here, and that would allow you to access the computer. It's a very, very business-oriented sort of computer. We got a DVD multi there, right there. I tested it because I've had to install an OS on it. And then we got USB. We have network. We have a modem. So, yeah, the modem kind of gives it away that it's a bit older. Don't see that anymore. Thank goodness. That's a piece of technology we don't really need anymore either. Those were cool back in the day, but they're so slow. Alright, so one of the things I like about this is it actually has some of the rubber bits on there. So that's kind of nice. They haven't been lost to things, but what's conspicuous is there's no camera, which I almost expect from a business class laptop. I know it wasn't maybe always that popular in 2006, but really, I'm kind of surprised at that. Then you got all these kind of like dedicated keys for media, presentation, Wi-Fi, and sort of an access point for, I guess, help or something like that. And yeah, so there you go. It's got the old nub, so it's very, very Lenovo or ThinkPad-ish. Yeah. And again, it's got this kind of gray look, and again, it's got these indicators. So I've seen this before with the old sort of design language of these old laptops, is it would point out what's below here on these sides and point out what these are. Point out that there's a card reader right down here, and then it has this, which is your security lock card. You would, and it's a little scratched up, I see. I didn't know that. Anyway, it's got a fingerprint reader, which is kind of cool. That's very, very business type laptop-ish. And of course it has all these like different function keys. It has a function key, but it has all these function keys. And if one thing you might notice is, something about this? Yeah, that ain't English. Fin? That's end, right? So yeah, So these are actually all French. So forget about French Canadian, and you kind of have a mixture. This is full on French. Yeah, French keyword. Yeah, you don't see that too often. Where's that French? Yeah. So whatever. I know how to touch type, and I don't look at my keys as long as they are pretty much standard. And this is Alt and Control are there. Alt Control is there. Function, yeah, there. Everything's where it should be. Maybe that's the exception there. That's a bit weird. Yeah, that's weird. Anyway, let's figure out what's going on. Why did they put that there? Huh. Anyway, I learned. Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to be a little funky, but, you know, whatever. That's the first intro to this. And like I said, I just installed, let's see the battery test. Does it work? I don't think the battery works anymore. So I've been installing it, so if it was going to take a charge, it should have taken a charge by now. So I think the battery's shot. Yeah, and here it is. What's this? I can tell you it is. Yeah, blink, blink, blink. So battery shot. Obviously it's taking some kind of a charge, but not enough to actually get it booting up. So there you go, guys. That is the old new Compaq nc6400. Yeah, and there's another video I have of a stereo that I was checking out. Maybe I'll tack it on to the end of this. It was sort of part of my thrift store visit. It's a pretty cool stereo, so I'm just going to probably tap that in to the end of this one. And I will see you in the next video. Alright, guys. Okay. So let's get into it here. This is a stereo system that I was checking out at Valley Village, and it was pretty cool. Look at this operation there. So this thing, I was looking at it, wow, this thing is very cool. Now obviously looking at those characters, this was previously owned by someone who was Asian. And they've marked off all the different keys. But I just love how substantial this is and how nice the buttons are. This JVC little compact little stereo system, bookshelf stereo system. And of course, what I really particularly like about it is just how unique it is. So it has obviously a CD player up in the top, but at the same time it's got it's got all your standard sort of old school approach to stereo. And then it has this ribbon cable, and it has all these plugs for plugging in your speakers. So this thing looked like it actually could really probably, and then more speakers, but it wasn't there. So yeah, it felt like you could really have actually used this thing. And judging from all the fans and all the dissipation, this thing probably would have done pretty well. Probably would have been a pretty decent stereo system. Anyway, guys, so I just thought I'd share this little video with you. Sort of something I ran across at thrift store while I was at the thrift store shopping. Of course, I ended up buying that Compaq laptop. Very happy with it. But yeah, I just thought, this thing is pretty cool. I mean, I always like these little, micro stereos, and especially when they're so well made. There's some that are really cheap and junky. This thing was tiny but built to last. Built forward. And to me, it looked like it would have probably produced a pretty decent sound. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. Little tacked on at the end here. Just stuff that you find while you're thrifting, and of course, found another laptop, which is my jam, so that's always fun. But we'll probably be digging, obviously, a little deeper into that one in a future video. So I hope you're having a great evening, and I'll talk to you in the next video.